Uh, I don't know if this was a blessing or it really fucked me up because I had like a whole regime going. Hello. I haven't talked to you guys in a while, I think. Other than that, NTE video. I have another one coming out soon. When? I don't know. But when it hits the streets, everybody's gonna be talking about it, right? No? Okay, I really don't give a shit. Anyways, you already know what we're about to do. Nothing too crazy. And since the schedule got a little bit pushed, so I'm going to say like, yeah. Anyways, starting off to early to mid-June, we get Camping Taiki Shuttle Plus, the Medro Dober camping skins, and the El Condor Pasa and SSR Guts, and the Machekane Tannhauser SSR Wit. Camping Taiki Shuttle, the runner, another Taiki that can be used over the OG on some tracks. You could still inherit the OG's ult, so it still doesn't really matter, but the unique is fairly a consistent velocity increase. If I remember correctly, I didn't really wrote down the details, but it's a Taiki, so it's really good. I think it works on the final straight after the final corner, so that's where I believe. It comes with a good amount of generically good mile skills, such as mile maven, mile corners, and she gets some really good chaser skills like prepare to pass, and I think she gets the innate neck and neck from one of her awakenings. Her growth bonus is kinda mad, but still workable. You could run less power cards to opt in more speed/wit. You could put in more power sparks to try to cap out power, but again, that's 30% into power, so it is not a must-have. I do not think she is generally better than her OG. Probably not better in terms of sprints because she doesn't have that much sprints built into her kit like her OGs, but definitely better for the mile related tracks. So yeah, if you enjoy Taiki and you want this skin, I recommend pulling. She's a really good option. The Camping Medro Dober, a really nice growth rate. You might want to drop a speed for a wit, or vice versa, depending on how many sparks you have in your inventories. But other than that, her skills are pretty good. She has the innate Dauntless and Full Throttle within her kit, and the medium gold skill from the Brink. Her unique, you must be in the mid pack while running on a downhill during the late race, so could still win on the right tracks because of the skills within her kit. I don't think she's a must pull unless you enjoy Dober and really want the skin. The Machekane Tannhauser SSR Wit camping version, I'm gonna call it camping version because I know we're gonna have more than one. Anyways, it has some pretty nice generic skills from events and hints such as ramp up, it's on, corner recovery, nimble, etc. She does have some high roller potential through her events. I think she has currently the most highest wit recovery in the game, having a 10 wit recovery once MOB. I will say she's not a bad option as filler, but nothing too crazy within her kit to really go ahead and just say, oh, I want to pull this card. The generic gold is on kind of carries the card, not going to lie, but again, kind of meh. Other cards could probably provide the same util and value like the Yaino Mutiki, but then again, she's not a witch, she's a power, so you already know how we kind of feel about that. It's a luxury card as well, so I don't suggest pulling if you are carrot starved or free to play. And I feel like the only one that could really value from this are whales and leviathans, so yeah. The Camping El Condor Pasa SSR Guts. She has a pretty good training effectiveness because it's a unique that scales for like +5 for each support card in the same facility as her, which could be really high rolly and still outputs kind of well, even outscaling NTR on good runs. She has a high race bonus for race heavy scenarios, and its comparable gut stat output to other gut options like Vega. She does provide a lot of good pacer skills such as head on, prepare to pass, speed star, etc. Downside about the card though, one, it's a gut card, so you can't really push her to many other decks besides gut related decks, and it's primarily for the pacers, so she's not that generically defined like other gut options that we have. Again, not too bad for pacer and gut related builds, but this is definitely not required. If anything, you could just borrow from a whale that already has this card. In my opinion, this banner could be skipped. In mid-June, we get Air Shakur plus Air Groove, the SSR Power, and the Gold City SR Wit. Fuck, Gold City. Air Shakur, she has some really nice velocity skills specific to the closers and medium distances. Her ultimate is a pretty consistent velocity boost where she activates while she's at the back of the pack during the second half of the race and she's close to the inner rail. On the final straight, she gains a really big velocity increase for a decent amount of time. She has some really good skills like encloser straightaways, and she does have the golden version of encloser straightaways, which is called like Moonlight Flash, I believe. That's pretty cool as well. Her growth bonus kinda meh. She has a 30% in wit, which isn't too big. Probably even slap on like one wit, aka like the Mr. CB wit card. You know, Mr. CB wit encloser card on an encloser. Duh. Not a bad runner, but she's more of a medium specialist on the straights. But, you know, if she's an Oshi, I would recommend pulling. She could still win. The SSR Power Air Groove, a pretty decent power stat stick. She has a high special priority, a good race bonus, and supplies some really good initial stamina and power. Her unique is interesting, giving us a power and skill bonus when her bond is in orange. Downside about the card is it's kind of caked with XLs for medium miles and surgers. The hints are mostly debuffs. Its gold is a pretty decent gold recovery, kind of replaceable for Maestro because it's a mid-race recovery, but still not as consistent, so I don't think it's that worth. I don't think this card is bad, especially if you train surgers, but given the skills and the general features that this card come with, it's not that crazy compared to future options that we're getting later this month and in the future, like the Jungle Pocket Speed, the Symboli Chris S Stamina, the Daichi Ruby Power. In all honesty with you, this is more of a luxury card than it is a must need, even for Surger mains. If anything, you could just borrow the card if your borrow slot is not tied to anything. Otherwise, you could cope with something else. This card is not that good. The SR Wit Gold City. This card is buns, that's all I put. Let me try to defend it a little bit more. You do get some pretty nice skills related to the Miles and Surger position, but her features is still kind of meh. If I remember correctly, she doesn't even come with like a race bonus, and her training effectiveness is pretty low. I don't think she comes with one at all. She doesn't even come with any like remarkable features like a skill point bonus or even a specific stat bonus like speed or power. So kind of meh. Plus she's an SR, so you don't really have to look for the card as well. It might just come to you, and even if it did, I don't think you will be using it, so skip this card. Fuck Gold City. In mid to late June, we get, or to continue mid to late June, we're getting Narita Brine plus the Saiyan Sky rerun and the Thrones Assemblage SSR group card and the El Condor SR Speed. The runners or the reruns of the characters is going to be pretty much good to pull if you want one of the runners, because again, they're really good parents. One Saiyan Skies are going to be our front runner parent for a good while because angling scheming is just really good, especially if you do not have this innately in your kit. I would recommend on picking it up if you have like 30k carrots to spare. Brian falls in the same boat. Brian's is a little bit more generalized because you could just put this on a pace or a surger or a closer and it will still probably proc with a good velocity increase. Other than that, this could be skipped if you do not want to spend your carrots here. But if you do have like 30k carrots to spare and you want some good parents, I would recommend pulling on this banner. The Thrones Assemblage SSR group card. This is going to be our next big group card for a while. This is going to be focusing on medium specific skills with a crazy amount of features that's implanted in the kit. She'd also have really good features such as a skill point bonus and a pretty big race bonus. I do believe she got like power related stuff, so energy reduction, energy recovery, etc, etc. The only downside about this card is it's very expensive to invest in. Not only does it need to be MOB for consistency, this card is very short-lived, not going to lie, especially how late it comes out, because then you were probably going to be pulling for other bigger options later this month and down the line. For example, like the Light Hello Pow card. This card is very good, but then again it's right next to very crucial banners. So if you are 1, carrot starved, 2, free to play, and 3, saving for something bigger, I suggest to skip this banner whole. It is not that big, and hopefully you could just borrow from a whale, because I know definitely people are going to be pulling who has the pockets. Definitely people are going to be pulling that has the pockets for this card. So then again, yeah, the SR Speed El Condor Pasa. This is another pretty good SR Speed option that might replace SRs in the near futures, such as like Flash, Halo, Narita, any SR Speed option that you might have besides Tosho, because Tosho is still probably going to be used later on. She still has a skill point bonus within her features, which is really good. It's an SR, so you might just run into it later on, so it needs to be MOB for consistency. Not a bad SR option at all. It could replace again a number of SR cards within the decks that you probably already had. Do I recommend pulling on the banner for it? No, it's not the next SR Guts and Meyer Vega, so it's not that big. You might see this later. In my opinion, this whole banner could just be skipped. In late June to early July, we get Summer Gold Ship and the Medro McQueen skins, plus the Summer Marzensky SSR Speed and the Summer Nakayama Festa SSR Wit. Summer Gold Ship, the runner. This is another gold ship with a really nice kit. I'm not going to lie. The growth bonus is pretty nice. Replacing a power card for wit or speed will come up often, so her unique is very interesting. It's a tiny velocity increase, and you're able to activate 2 random golden skills, ignoring the conditions of the golden skills. So her current kit is mainly velocity increases and for recoveries, if I remember correctly. And plus, she's a closer, so she's mainly gambling by nature. She's kinda meh, but again, not too off from other gold ships. She's still a gold ship, so you could probably pull some bullshit with her. I would say this gold ship unique is really strong and still kind of busted as an inheritance. Even though it's cut in half, you're able to like activate 1 random golden skill, but again, there's still 1 random golden skill that could be procced, so it might not be meta in terms of like CM, but it's definitely used in like other related game modes like team trials, I would say. If you're just mainly looking for her unique and not herself, then you could just borrow, and maybe if she spooks you later, she spooks you later. The Medro McQueen summer skin, her growth bonus kind of perfect on what she could run on and what she run as. She runs mainly as a pacer in front of her like her originals, and this Medro McQueen is really good for the long specifically. She has a lot of long related skills such as Headliner, Faultless, Single-Minded. Her unique that could be procced during the second half of the race while you're in the front position. So again, fronters less pace chasing, giving you a slight velocity increase with a scaling duration. Sort of like Bright, where you want to use stamina to abuse the duration. But unlike Bright, instead of it draining your stamina, it checks on how much stamina you have left when the skill is procced. So this McQueen is generally for the longs because of her kit, but you could push her to a medium and she will still perform quite as well. Unsure if she will perform better than her original, but definitely her anime. I think this is the second or the best McQueen that we're going to get for a while. And I think we don't get a McQueen at all after this. I think this is the last McQueen, unfortunately. I don't think she's meta defining, but she's not bad at all. She's pretty good. She is mainly an Oshipole, not gonna lie. Anyways, the SSR Speed Summer Marzensky, the front runner card. That's what I literally put in. I did not lie. Comes with a majority of staple fronter skills like groundwork, playtime, corners, early lead, etc. Its gold is a really nice velocity increase. The golden version of Leader's Pride, I forgot what it was called. Top runner, I believe. She's a pretty heavy stat stick. Her unique scale is training effective depending on the level of the training facility that she appears on. This compares to other cards with high training effectiveness, like NTR, like the POS sub that we talked about. One downside part of this card is, this is probably the big one, this is mainly for the front runners. Even though it's a really good stat stick, if you don't run fronters, this card might fall in value. This might be one of the craziest stat sticks in the game that will stay for a while, and it might be needed if you lack a decent speed option like Kita, but depending on how your account looks, this could be skipped for something else, like the Agnes Tachyon or the future El Condor Pasa SSR Speed card. If you run front runner cards and you have enough carrots and you need or want another speed card, this option is definitely for you. If you're a front runner main, please pull the card. I know a lot of people that's gonna pull for the card, and hopefully they got it. If they don't, unfortunate. Anyways, the Nakayama Festa SSR Wit option, not a bad wit option. Its unique is a 20% chance to making a trailing fail rate to 0. She has a high race bonus, so it could be used for race heavy scenarios. Her gold, Nothing Ventured, is a nice velocity increase that consumes some stamina, and I do believe that this only works on the mediums, but then again, kind of meh. No, it's not a medium skill, it's a surge skill, right? I think so. Anyways, a few good generics like Nimble and Uma Stand. Pretty good wit option, but then again, future wit options that will be coming to the game will possibly outscale. This is mainly a filler card, and not gonna lie, is most likely a luxury card. I don't think you would require it, not gonna lie. In my honest opinion, you should skip.